Hey y'all. Thank you for joining me again for another episode of Rants and Tea with Kelly B. Alright, so today we're going to get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. Not a lot to talk about, but these probably might be some long stories. Okay, so Jess Hilarious. Are y'all familiar with the comedian Jess Hilarious? Yeah. Love her. She's been in a couple controversies. She been in some stuff throughout the years. People that had some issues with her, okay? I can't talk today. She has had words come out of her mouth that is not exactly PC. That's a comedian for you. But her latest controversy comes from her response to a TikTok post by a transgendered woman by the name of Blessings Rose. Let's check out what it is that Blessings Rose had to say.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods, you don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person, but as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
Let's look up some words here because we're going to have to look up definitions to really understand, maybe put into context what it is that this person is saying. Let's look up arrogance. Arrogance is defined as the quality of being arrogant, similar to haughtiness, to be conceited, to be self-important, to have egotism. The arrogance to think that we own periods. I got a period that just comes out of me. It's different, absolutely, from everyone else's, but my period, like literally, if you test my blood, it's got my DNA in it. So I own my period. Guess who does not experience periods? You. Men don't experience periods. Trans men or whatever like that, once you cut and you shape and you do whatever, they experience periods. That's because they have an XX chromosome.
That's a fact.
The definition of gatekeeping. The definition of gatekeeping would be the activity of controlling and usually limiting general access to something. I can't limit nothing that you just could never have access to. I can't limit it. If you don't have access to it, I can't limit it. You don't have it. It's literally not in you to do. So I can't gatekeep or limit access to something that I couldn't give you if I tried.
What reality you live in?
When people have pushback as far as what he said, because it did come out very rude, to call women arrogant because they have periods. You have women who are out there experiencing endometriosis who don't want their periods. I don't want my period, but if it don't come, that means some things is wrong. Okay, but I don't know. I don't want a period. This is something that nature has given me, is to have a period. Who wants to bleed for 5 days or to 7 days or longer than that? Sometimes spotty. Sometimes people have like extremely painful periods. We don't want it, but it's something that is in us. So for us to say that we don't own it, that who's arrogant here exactly? But anyways, people have backlash for this person, of course, and this was their response to that.
But it's interesting because people will take a 30-second clip of what I say and what I mean and just completely run with it, right? Imagine thinking critically about a situation and actually thinking about it, because everything is nuanced. Nothing is just white or black. Like, reality is you don't have to agree with me, but I said what I said and I stand by that. Cis women don't own womanhood. Cis men don't own periods. Because you can't create like a one-size-fits-all for womanhood and cishood and expect people to go with it. It doesn't work like that. Everyone thinks thinks about it differently, right? Everybody has their own idea of what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a man. Because some women think you have to be a mother. right? You have to have children. You have to have a uterus. And others say, no, I don't have to do any of that shit. Don't want any of that shit. I'm a woman because I say I'm a woman, because of my experiences, because of how I feel internally, because of my spirit. Okay, so this is why having a one-size-fit-all for womanhood, but it's interesting.
Okay, let's pick apart what it is that he said exactly. First of all, he said that we took it out of context. How do you take this out of context?
You don't own periods. You don't own womanhood.
How exactly do I take that out of context? Exactly. Let's look up what context means, shall we? Context is defined as the circumstances that form the setting for an event, statement, or idea in terms of which it can be fully understood or assessed. What context is there to have when you say women don't own periods? Women don't own womanhood. What he said specifically is the arrogance and the audacity for cis women to think that they own periods. Now, in his second post, when he's responding and saying context, he seems to switch it up to say that cis men don't own periods, and that cis women don't own womanhood. And he proceeds to describe what he feels is womanhood. In my spirit, in my soul, in my this is what I feel. Let me say something about when it comes to trans people and when they say how they feel in their spirit and whatever. Womanhood is not a one-size-fit-all. It is definitely not a one-size-fit-all. It definitely comes in different, I'm not going to say womanhood isn't a one-size-fit-all. Womanhood is a one-size-fit-all. Now, the extent to which you display what society's quote-unquote image of what femininity is and womanhood is, that one is a broad spectrum. But as far as being a woman and womanhood, that means an adult, cisgendered woman. A person with an XX chromosome reaches a certain age, she is now entering into womanhood. If you are a man, you are entering into manhood at a certain age. I've seen some comments where people will be like, oh, well, all women don't have periods. That's true, but that means there's a malfunction. All women don't have uteruses. Yeah, but they're supposed to come with one. When they don't, it's called a defect, because it means something was supposed to be there and it's not. Therefore, it's defective. Not to say that you are not a woman and that you are not valuable because you can't do these things, but you indeed have a defect. If you are a male and you can't have periods and you don't have a uterus, it just means you a male. Don't know what to tell you. But he goes on to explain further. And I'm gonna say he, because in these other pictures, the rest of this stuff, you know, y'all feel how y'all feel, but in the rest of the stuff, he's presenting as a guy in these other videos. He just is. I don't know what his pronouns are. I ain't even gonna look it up, okay? I don't feel like it. It is what it is.
Interesting, because people will take a 30-second clip of what I say and what manhood doesn't work because we're not a monolith. Imagine that. It's like you can own an Apple iPhone, but you don't own the brand Apple, right? You don't. And at the end of the day, womanhood should be personalized because it's all about the person and what they believe and how they feel. We are literally gods. We create our own reality, right? So I think there's delusion involved because I feel like a lot of cis women think that they allowed us to be in their space when a lot of you bitches was clocking us and letting these men hurt us. That's another discussion. But you didn't allow us to be in your space. You don't own femininity space, right? You experience it. You can own your own version of it, but you don't own what it actually means overarching. You don't own the oversoul of womanhood and femininity. And let's be clear, manhood doesn't work because we're not a monolith. Imagine that.
Manhood doesn't work because it's not a monolith. So if manhood doesn't work and it's not a monolith, and womanhood doesn't work because it's a monolith, why do you need to identify with womanhood? Why can't you just be a man overarching and over all these different spectrums that are feminine? Because femininity is fluid. What is not fluid is womanhood. You have to be a woman in order to have womanhood. Now y'all can say I'm transphobic or whatever y'all want to do. The only thing I got a phobia of is crab legs. I can't stand them jokers. It's like big roaches on your plate. But I have to be actually afraid of something for me to have homophobia. Stating facts is not homophobia. We are gods and we live in and we create our own realities. We can create how we react to reality. We can alter how it is that we react to reality. We can't alter reality because reality is reality and fantasy is fantasy. One of those fantasies is that womanhood is defined other than something else besides women reaching a certain age and being of age to classify themselves as a woman. It is what it is. Let me put a disclaimer. You can call yourself whatever you want to. You can dress up how you want to. I don't hate anyone on this planet. And trust me, it's playing pretty, but I deserve it. But I don't hate anyone on this planet. But when you come on and you basically insult a whole image that you are trying to mimic, the audacity to ball. Jess Hilarious had a reaction to this, and this is Jess Hilarious's reaction to what Blessing Rose had to say.
Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never ever get. You'll never be that.
So that's a little piece of what Jess Hilarious had to say. So TS Madison, who is also a trans woman, had this to say. TS Madison had this to say. Let me make this one thing clear. I have stood up for and fought tooth and nail for black women. I have put a lot of black women on. Use my platform to uplift black women as well as let it be known I am not a female, but I am a black trans woman, so I'm addressing this as such. Let me put an "et" on it. Just hilarious. I have never disrespected you nor came at you publicly when you said sideways shit I didn't like. I inboxed you. Your mouth don't put no fear in my heart because you're not the only bitch that can put a reed on the floor. So if it's up, then it's up. But as a grown individual, I don't want to go that route because that's not going to solve none. But we can. I'm all day with it. Now I posted what I said because of what came out of your own experiences. Every time trans women and real women unite on some good shit, you nor the blogs ever post or talking about it. The moment one individual offends you, y'all automatically group us all in the mix. I clearly know that only females have periods and uteruses and have never stood on the side of the majority. But what you not gonna do is make it seem like you gonna press down on me and call me phony. You being a little bit phony. First of all, I don't remember Jess calling you out. She was talking about the other person, the Blessings child. She was talking about them and you hopped on this train. So how you turn around and you talking about somehow we not gonna do this and we not gonna do that and I've never said this and I never said that. She wasn't even talking to you. So how the hell you now mad? Make that make some sense. Let me tell you something, just like a nigga. I'm just saying. Just like, let me not, because women do it too. Women do it too. But the nerve. There are so many real women that get mistaken for transgender women. And that's when where a lot of the anger comes from. I do hope they take a good look at how transphobia affects all women. I don't know what that means. Okay, so the response to that was, someone said, I respectfully disagree. She wasn't speaking about being mistaken for a man, but that man saying that women don't own periods, that honestly is just crazy because we most certainly do. TS Madison responds back saying, I'm speaking of her always having a tone towards transgender women, and she's admitting to being mistaken for one on many occasions. Okay, so Jess Hilarious has a tone, but this isn't a tone.
You don't own periods. You don't own womanhood.
A little bit hypocritical, don't you think? It's insulting to say that womanhood is fluid. We don't gatekeep this. We don't gatekeep that. It takes away the importance of what a woman is. As Jess Hilarious said, we make the babies. We give birth. We give life. Womanhood has a very important role. And to say that it is not, to say that we don't own it kind of gets rid of the importance of us. Do I think that this whole trans movement is erasing women and doing things like, and getting rid of womanhood? I don't think it's getting rid of womanhood. I think we're empowering a bunch of men, because I don't see trans men out here talking as crazy as trans women do when it comes to their identities. They over there in the cut somewhere having their babies with their girlfriends and shit like that, getting pregnant and whatnot. Okay? But for some reason, there always seems to be, and I don't know if the media has highlighted it or what it is that they've done, but for some reason there always seems to be a transgender woman that comes out and feels the need to tell women how unimportant they are and how much anything you can do, I can do better, when absolutely it is not the case. The beautiful part about being a woman is the fact that we have the superpowers that we do. One of those superpowers being, I can bleed for 5 days and don't die. Superpower. I can pump a baby out. I can grow life in me. And then I can shoot it right on out through that little bitty hole that stretch. That has a whole human that comes out. Snap right on back. And then my body gives me nourishment so that I can feed that said little thing. And then I make more and more and more and more. That is the beautiful part about being a woman.
Just gonna put that out there.
Do we need y'all seeds, guys? Yeah, sure. But it is something that is very beautiful and unique about being a woman. And when you, sir, who come along, when you come along and you say how unimportant and how it is just a non-factor when it comes to women, it's insulting. Especially when you are trying to mimic it. That's like you going to an Elvis concert and you're an Elvis impersonator. Are you Elvis? Nope. But you're an Elvis impersonator, and maybe you can sing pretty close to him, but you seem to admire something about Elvis so much that you want to mimic him. So then you go and you see Elvis, you say at his show, and you be like, you trash. You can't sing. You can't shimmy. You can't do that whole thing. You don't know how, you don't do that. You don't own that. But literally, you got it from him. You literally got it from him. You literally are tap dancing because he exists. You are literally you because women exist. You are literally mimicking something that previously existed. And he said something along the lines of, gay men gave us our blueprint to the womanhood. I'll put it up there. I'm probably ad-libbing. But first gay man, who did you imitate to get your personality? A woman. Could some gay communities have exaggerated? I'm not saying that they didn't come up with terms. I'm not saying they didn't come up with sass. I'm not saying they didn't come up with none of that. But you are literally imitating a woman and basing your personality. That's the foundation off a woman and womanhood. And to say that that's a non-factor is insulting. And, don't dish it out if you can't take it. Both of yous. You know, that's all I'm gonna talk about when it comes to them and talk when it comes to this, because I'm sorry, it's getting ridiculous, and I'm not about to hold my tongue about it. It's just getting ridiculous. Ain't nobody saying y'all stupid, y'all deserve to drown or anything like that, but stop with the craziness, please. All right, y'all. If y'all like what y'all see, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. Check out my other videos. Come back again for another show. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.